Graham, I mean, we've been hearing a lot about the cost of living, about rising inflation, about problems, about solutions, and which solutions may become problems in the future. How do we make sense of it all?
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of talk about tax and spend at the moment. And for all, Rishi's credit, he says he's a tax-cutting chancellor, but quite frankly, I don't see it. I mean, we're having these stealth taxes in the freezes to thresholds for income tax, other thresholds as well. It's good that he raised the NI threshold from about 9,000 to 12.5, so it's in line with income tax. But quite frankly, it's just not enough. I mean, going ahead with the national insurance rise was a bit of a kick in the teeth for taxpayers, really. We've got a 70-year tax burden, and the tax take is actually at a record high. So it's not like the Chancellor doesn't have wriggle room to actually make those tax cuts and help people today when they really need it in this cost of living crisis.
I suppose this is the pernicious sort of evil of inflation. Governments, in some ways, quite like it. They get bigger receipts. The VAT receipts go up. And without them doing anything, they sort of inflate away the national debt. Good for governments, really horrible for the people living under those governments. Would this income tax cut being brought forward, it would clearly put more money in the pockets of people in work. It wouldn't put more money in the pockets of people on benefits, and it might not do anything to alleviate those price rises that we're seeing.
It might not do anything to alleviate the price rises, but it will help shield people, from having less money in their back pockets overall. So, it'll give people a bit more money to work with and help them with the cost of living crisis that they're seeing at the moment. And, of course, as you mentioned, the interest rates are going up and inflation is causing that, which also means that debt payments are going up too, right? So the Chancellor is going to have to pay off a bit more in debt, and it's, I think, inflating to the size of, government departments now. So, there is a lot of pressure on the national purse at the moment to get it right. And I think putting more money in people's back pockets is the right thing, boosting growth, of course, as well, which is really good for the economy when we're seeing quite a stagnant economy at the moment. I mean, yesterday's figures were a lot lower in terms of growth than what was expected. So I think growing the economy and boosting jobs by pushing this income tax forward would be really helpful to the prosperity of the country as a whole.